What's up, YouTube? I'm out here in a new penthouse in Medellin, Colombia. It's actually my friend's penthouse, and she may be moving out of Colombia. So if this test goes well, it's possible this will be my penthouse going forward. And the video I want to make today is about change. And what I've found is that embracing change in your life, it gets easier and easier. I remember the first time I left Canada, I was in my early 20s. I went on an exchange to Europe, to the Czech Republic, as part of my university. And it felt like my entire world was shifting, living in a new country for the first time, experiencing so many new things. And now, because my life has changed so many times, and most of the changes have been absolutely for the better, quitting my job, moving countries, being able to work productively in different environments, it allows you to constantly ascend to next levels, whether it's where you live, the social circle you surround yourself with, the type of business you have. And even in my business itself, evolving from building websites to writing paid ads, to making YouTube videos, to offering consulting and coaching packages. There's that quote, the only constant is change. And I think that's true, but you have to actually choose to embrace it. And in a way, you get desensitized to change. You know, you sometimes hear about lives of like rich and famous people, and they're flying from one continent to the other and doing all these crazy ventures and these crazy things. And in most of our mind, it feels like that, how can that be possible? How can someone live that expansively? How do they have the energy to do that? But the thing I've learned is that when you haven't experienced that much change in your life, it feels so intense and energy intensive to change things. But once you get in the habit of constantly upgrading your life every 6 weeks or every 6 months, it doesn't actually feel tiring. It doesn't feel draining. You're able to maintain this level of peace and self-discipline and keep your habits going while still upgrading and changing your environment. So that's my rant today, as I'm walking around this new beautiful penthouse. And I'm working with a few clients right now and helping them build their digital marketing agencies and change their lives. And one of my mentorship students had been running his agency, I think, for almost 20 years. And he was, making, let's just say 3K, 4K a month. And within 2 weeks of working together, he's already landed an additional $1,500 a month retainer paid ads client. So he's increased his monthly income by 50%. And I imagine for him, it was a daunting thing to invest the sum of money with me and say yes to this process. And it's crazy how fast things are already changing for him. And when I think about the most successful people I know, they're open to a lot of change and they don't have a lot of resistance to it. Switching countries, switching business models, selling a business, breaking up with a co-founder, all of that is almost in a day's work. Okay, that's just part of the process. Because to make huge gains in life, you're gonna have to constantly be upgrading and changing things. And if you look at the standard life, it's so static. You stay in one place, do the same thing, you talk to the same people. You literally just live the same day on repeat for years on end. And there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, but if you do want a really expansive life, I think you really have to embrace the discomfort of changing things. And it's ironic because at first it's uncomfortable, but then it results in these beautiful outcomes. And the final point I want to make here is something I've learned is that almost every time when you're debating if you should change something in your life, you should change it, because by default, you're going to have a bias to keep things the same. So the fact you're even on the fence about changing something is generally evidence enough that you should go through and do it. So let me know in the comments below, is there anything in your life you're on the fence about changing, and do you plan on following through? Until next time, I'll talk to you later.